Hello, good morning, and welcome to another wrestling video. Yes, predictions, that's what they're called. The audio may not be as crisp as what it could be, because I don't have my mic with me, because that is currently elsewhere. And, well, yeah, this is the WrestleMania Backlash predictions, because WrestleMania Backlash is this Sunday. And I will be just going through the card from like what's most likely to happen, what I think. You've probably been here before. I doubt it. But yeah. So now the first match on this card is Bobby Lashley versus Omos with MVP in Omos's corner this time, and this is just a singles match. So basically what happened in this feud was, well, Lashley was injured after Elimination Chamber. He got injured before Elimination Chamber, so that's why he got taken out of the Elimination Chamber early. He then came back just before Mania and started, like, the week before Mania happened, and basically asked for a match with Omos, which he won. I believe he won. Yes, Bobby Lashley defeated Omos. And MVP wasn't there, who an MVP used to be Lashley's manager. And then MVP turned on Lashley to side with Omos and be his mouthpiece. And they've had an arm wrestling match, which Lashley won. And then this is the rematch that they wanted after that. And for weird reasons, I think Omos is going to win here, because Lashley's won twice now against him. Because Lashley won at Mania, and Lashley won at the arm wrestling contest. Yes, he was beaten up afterwards, but I think if they're keeping Omos's push going, they'll want to keep Omos on top. So, like, the end of the feud will be Omos winning. And if this feels like the end of the feud, Omos wins. Which makes sense. And maybe Lashley can go on to face. He could be a challenger for Roman on Raw. Drew can be the challenger on SmackDown. So Money in the Bank, Roman has to defend twice and potentially lose one of them. Probably the Drew McIntyre one. Maybe he has the Bobby Lashley one first and loses and wins the Lashley one, but because Roman's tired, Drew then comes in, claymores it, wins, maybe turns heel, which would be an interesting thing, because then that's how you could potentially turn Roman face, which I know not many people want, but maybe the Tribal Chief can work as a face? I don't know. Anyway, next match is Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss, which is also a singles match. There are a load of singles. Well, there are a load of just non-title matches here. Corbin versus Moss happened as a result of WrestleMania. So it was Corbin versus McIntyre on night 1. Yeah, night 1. And McIntyre won, and by kicking out the End of Days, which is the first time that anyone has ever kicked out of Baron Corbin's finisher in, like, his whole career, like 2015 through to now. Nobody's kicked out of it apart from Drew at Mania. And then Madcap Moss got on the apron to try and distract Drew, and that didn't work. And so this then led to Corbin turning on Moss. So Corbin being the heel, Moss being the babyface. I think Moss is winning here, mainly because Corbin tends to be pushed without needing to be pushed. Like, the company like him, so even if he loses, it won't necessarily affect, like, his chances of being in, like, a storyline or something. So I think that, yeah, Madcap Moss is going to win here, and probably build him up maybe to an Intercontinental title thing. Maybe have him defeat Ricochet that might work. Give him some legitimacy, allow him to do some stuff. AJ Styles versus Edge, which is a singles match, but with the preface that Damian Priest, who is now at Edge's stable of Judgment Day, the name of the old pay-per-view, and Undertaker's theme. Yeah, that one. Damian Priest is banned from ringside. So, Edge won at Mania, and arguably, but by WWE standards, the 50-50 booking would state that Edge would win. No, AJ Styles would win due to 50-50 booking. So you have one win there, another one win there, and then they'll have a match at whatever the next pay-per-view is, if it's either Money in the Bank or TLC, I can't remember which one it is. But whatever the next one is, that will be where the final match is, if they were to do the 50-50 booking. But Edge can easily, the rule is, Damian Priest is banned from ringside. But this is where I think they're going to introduce a new member of Judgment Day, because I think they want to make it a legitimate stable, because it looks like they're going that way. So you'll have Edge and Damian Priest, but Damian Priest can't be there. So, either Ciampa, not Tommaso Ciampa, it's just Ciampa now, or Rhea Ripley will turn up and cost AJ Styles the match, allowing for Edge to win. So I think Edge will win here. Somebody rumoured that Finn Balor could do it. Like, Finn Balor became mates with AJ Styles, but then it would be like, this is how... Because AJ Styles, here's the thing. In me booking against AJ Styles, I'm going against, a whole year of booking. Because AJ Styles, I found out, hasn't won a pay-per-view match since Money in the Bank last year, when he won the Raw Tag Team titles with Omos, because he lost them off pay-per-view, during a Raw, and then failed to win them back at SummerSlam. And then every other match he's been in since then, he's lost. Despite that, I think Edge is winning here. And maybe the next pay-per-view could be Edge and Damian Priest versus AJ Styles and Finn Balor, with Rhea Ripley or Ciampa in Edge's corner. Or if it's Ciampa, make it a 6-man. I've just had a thought. So if you have Edge, Priest, so I've got there's two things that could come from this. Edge, Priest, and Ciampa versus Styles, Balor, and Ali, maybe, because Ali's being attacked by Ciampa. Make that involvement happen. Because Ali's now babyface, as is Styles and Balor. Or you do Edge, Priest, and Rhea Ripley versus AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan to finally finish off the kind of the feud of the breakup of the tag team of Liv and Rhea. Try and set that up a bit more. I know they kind of did that on that Raw when they were when you had the was it a gauntlet match or it was something, but that happened. But yeah, I think Edge to win here. The next match, which sounds like it would be the main event, but it no longer is due to reasons, is a 6-man tag team match pitting Drew McIntyre and RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle, former Matt Riddle, versus The Bloodline, Roman Reigns and the Usos, with Paul Heyman in Bloodline's corner. And this is for nothing. Now, initially, a couple of weeks back, the match was going to be RK Bro versus the Usos in a tag unification match, because at Mania, Roman and Brock had a title unification match, which was whoever wins gets both belts, and Roman won, so he has both belts. And then Roman said to the Usos, go over to Raw and get the Raw titles for the Bloodline, just bring it all together. And initially they set that up for this pay-per-view. It was going to be a title unification match for those two. And it looked like they were leaning towards Roman versus Shinsuke as the match for this pay-per-view. And that was like the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Was they like Shinsuke was there and was like, oh, I want a title opportunity, And then that didn't happen. But now it's changed. Now Shinsuke is no longer in the picture. He's not even on the card. He hasn't been on. Has he been on SmackDown for recently? He probably has, but I haven't noticed him. Yeah, so now it's like Drew's become involved because of the Clash at the Castle that they're doing, the pay-per-view they're having in Wales. And I think they're going to have like a really long storyline between Drew and Roman, eventually leading to Drew winning one of the titles off of Roman, potentially Cody winning the other, but I'll get more on that in the next match. And so I think Drew. And that's the thing. Roman Reigns hasn't lost in a singles match in over 2 years, nearly 2 years. Since Payback 2020, he hasn't lost. I think he's technically, like, he was in like a tag team match, like he was in like a 6-man and he lost that way. I think like an Uso got pinned and he lost. Obviously, it's like how Asuka was eliminated from the Battle Royal, yet her streak happened anyway. So, and they don't count it as a streak, but but I think the most likely thing, well, there's two likely things, as there always is, because that's how predictions work. And it depends which one I go with. On one hand, in column A, you have Drew pins one of the Usos to set up more tension in the bloodline, because the Usos have started to lose a bit more and Roman's getting frustrated with them. Or, on the other hand, you could have Roman pin one of probably Riddle, because they wouldn't let Randy Orton lose a pay-per-view because he's over like Rover. And Drew has just come off a big, and Drew's kind of like, he's being protected because obviously they are going to push him again. And maybe Sami Zayn gets involved for the bloodline, but I don't know. But I think, for interest's sake, have Drew and RK Bro win, with Drew pinning maybe Jimmy. No, maybe pinning Jay, because Jay's the more loyal of the two. Of the two, he says. Yes. And the next match is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Freaking Rollins. And I'm shocked to Cody Rhodes because obviously he's in AEW for a bit. He was there from the start till February, and then turned up at the beginning of April for Mania against Rollins. This is a rematch from Mania. A lot of these are rematches. And again, 50-50 booking would dictate that Rollins would win. But I don't think they'd do that, because Cody Rhodes was offered a lot of money to come into the company, and to have him lose so quickly would diminish his push. So, what you do is Cody Rhodes wins and builds up his legitimacy. Maybe Cody goes after the United States title, takes that off Theory, maybe holds it until SummerSlam, potentially, like has quite a strong, like, maybe he brings back the open challenge. Every week he does something with he has a title match and he keeps winning. And in a sense, Theory could then win it back at some point. And then he kind of makes a mockery of the open challenge and he goes da. And then Theory can have his match with Cena, because Cena could come out and say, hey, I did that in 2015, I restored that belt, and you're making a mockery of it. I know I said I liked you, but don't you dare make a mockery of me. And then you can have Cena versus Theory at SummerSlam. So that can set that up. While Cody, once coming off his quite successful United States title run, is quite like a dominant, because he's like fighting every week, he's winning, and then maybe Theory cheats to win. Rhodes can now go on to fight Roman on for the Raw title, the WWE title, which he could potentially win. Arguably, because if they're doing Roman Rock next year, it's whether or not they want to do it for the title, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but Cody to win here, I think, because they want to continue his push and they don't want to make a mistake with him only a month after bringing him into the company. And the final match, which is probably the main event, it makes sense for this being the main event, even though nobody's interested, is Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, which Charlotte is the champion. And this came about because some people think that the reason why there was this they think that Charlotte was still meant to win at Mania, but Ronda kind of got iffy with the fact of tapping out to Charlotte, because Charlotte's finisher is the figure eight and natural selection, but mainly figure eight. And because Ronda Rousey's like an MMA fighter, she didn't want to tap out. And so I think that's why it suddenly changed to be the big boot loss. But now, it's now a quit match. And it makes no sense for them not to put the belt on Ronda, because Charlotte's been champion for a while now. If she's been champion since... When did she... Because she won the Raw title off Rhea. And then they swapped the belts, didn't they? Yeah, how long has Charlotte been champion? Hang on. Oh yeah, and her record-setting 6th reign. This is the 6th reign as SmackDown Women's Champion. Oh we are. Flair regained the title at SummerSlam. Yes. Oh yes, to Nikki ASH. Ah yes. And yeah, I think the logical thing to do here is go with Ronda, right? Because Ronda had that quite big push, and again, she doesn't want to tap out. I doubt the company wants her to tap out, and so it makes sense for Ronda to beat Charlotte Flair. And also, they're going with the incorrect statement that Charlotte Flair's never tapped out, which Sasha Banks would like a word, and Becky Lynch, and probably somebody else, but those two definitely. Probably Carmella as well. How did Carmella win it? Thingy. Carmella versus Charlotte Flair, Backlash 2018. Was that tap out? Let me have a look on Cage Match. I recommend Cage Match to people if they want to find out like a wrestling match, like a certain match or like wrestler. So if you do wrestler, you can search like Charlotte Flair. Here we are, Charlotte Flair matches. Let's go back to 2018. It'll take some time because I'm nearly there. Oh, Ember Moon defeated Charlotte at one point during a house show. Interesting. Oh, here we are. She probably lost. Asuka, Becky, and Charlotte. Charlotte Flair defeated Carmella on SmackDown. And Money in the Bank. Alexa Bliss defeats Becky Lynch, Charlotte. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, yes, I forgot I'm not meant to mention that word. Where is it? I should bet Backlash. I'm a bit early. Where am I? I'm confused. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Charlotte versus Carmella. Backlash. Results. Oh, pinned her for the win. Okay. Okay. So she didn't lose to Carmella. That was just my point. But yeah, Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks definitely have tapped her out. Like there was the famous Raw match, the one where Sasha won the thing when she had like Charlotte round one of like the guardrails, like on the banister as British people will call it, against that. She like did a bank statement off that, and she tapped, and then Becky's tapped her with the armbar, or the what's it called, the disarm her, as Becky calls it. Yes. I think that's it for WrestleMania Backlash. Because stuff could be announced tonight. There could be. Yeah. But the only issue is that it's a bit late, isn't it? Of course. I do think that. As a quick note, I said a while back that when I did the Captain Marvel review that I realised I forgot to actually give my own opinion of the film, and I shall do that now quickly. So I quite like Captain Marvel's all right. I watched it again recently, and it was actually quite good. It's kind of a bit like Captain Marvel's character's a bit ruined in Endgame, but I quite liked her character, and the film's fun. Like Samuel L. Jackson's great in it, the cat's great in it, Lashana Lynch is good, Brie Larson's good in this film. Jude Law's a serviceable villain. He's a bit mustache twirling, but it's alright. Yeah, there you go. And that's it for this video. I don't think I need to tell anything else. No. The videos are back on a semi-regular basis, probably. I don't know. But yes, thank you for watching, and goodbye.